Hey guys, welcome to another review. This time I'm reviewing the newest episode of The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 5, Now. This episode had a lot to it. Now, it's not as fast-paced or action-filled as the first 3 episodes, but it's better than the previous episode with Morgan. That was a failure. This one, I wouldn't call it a bad episode or a failure. But there are some things to go over. I mean, I've got a whole list here. It was a lot to remember, so I wrote down everything. And yeah, it's a lot. Okay, first I'd like to talk about... I'm going to get this stuff out of the way first. The things that we didn't learn in this episode. We still don't know what's happened with the wolf that Morgan has stored in that house in Alexandria. We don't know if he's going to be a problem yet, or if Morgan's even doing anything with him. We didn't really see Morgan in this episode, which, for me, that I've got nothing to complain about, but I kind of wish that we got to see what happened to the wolf. I guess we'll see that later, but we also didn't see Glenn. We still don't know what happened to Glenn. Now, if you remember in my the review of Glenn's episode there, I said that we're probably not going to find out what happened to Glenn until like 3 episodes later, and I'm pretty much going to stick to that because I think next episode might not even have it anyway, so it'll be not the Morgan one, not this one, not the next one, but the one after that. Or maybe the next episode will have it, I don't know. But it's a pretty good season so far, and though this is not its strongest episode, I think this was good for building up its Alexandrian characters and displaying sort of, it's a low-paced one, but it still had a lot of interesting things going on. I'm going to start out, Deanna, that's the old lady, she was, in the beginning we see her go up the stairs that lead up to the fence or wall, and she's looking over there, and then she looks back and she sees Maggie talking to Michonne, and Rosita's there. They're talking about like what happened while they were out. And of course we don't need to see that because we already know what happened in the episode. So I like that they didn't bother us with having to listen to their exposition, I guess. Well, this happened and this happened. We don't know what this guy is for that reason in this. But then while Deanna's up there, she hears Rick yelling, "The gate, open the gate," which we heard in the Morgan episode. And we see Rick rushing up, and they open the gate, and he just narrowly escapes all these walkers, which I totally knew that he was going to make it from the RV, but I kind of thought that they would show us him getting out of the RV and sort of escaping, but I guess that was an unneeded part. So yeah, I don't think that it would be necessary for them to show us the escape. I just thought that maybe it would be something important, but alas, it wasn't. And in this episode, they don't even mention the cut on Rick's hand. So yeah, they were just punking us when they showed Rick going like, "Oh no, oh." That was all just to get to the fans. Yeah, jerks. Okay. And then Rick gives a sort of speech to all the Alexandrians and stuff, and the whole horde of walkers that were following him, they're now surrounding the Alexandrian fence, and Rick's having a discussion with them all, and then one guy's like challenging Rick, saying that it's his fault or something. So, what's his name? Aaron tells the truth. He steps up and says, the wolves coming here is my fault. When I was out with Daryl, I lost my backpack, and that's what they found that. It told them about Alexandria, and then they must have tracked us back here. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty honest of Aaron, and that's a good character trait, but I have a feeling like most characters on the show would not have told the truth even. It's a small thing. I don't think it's really needed, but it's good to show that he's honest for that. And, yeah. But I'm just gonna shoot out one of these spoilers here for this episode. Maggie's pregnant. Now, I did see this coming because in the comics around this time she was pregnant, and then in the episode, episode 3, no, episode 1, he wanted to go out and work with them, right? Rick and his people, and he was like telling Maggie that she should stay here because of something, and she says that's not the only reason. And he says, yeah, that's not the only reason. And I figured from that, oh yeah, she's pregnant. And yeah, she's pregnant. I wonder if she's going to name him Herschel Jr. or Aaron, as Aaron suggests. E-R-I-N or A-A-R-O-N. Two different Aarons. Anyway, I'm going to skip to, let's see, from there, I suppose what came next was Deanna's son stopping the people from raiding the stuff. Now, Olivia's in charge of all the food supplies and stuff. She's the one who handed Carol the chocolates and stuff, so she's in charge of all that. And the Alexandrians were like getting their supplies, and they're like, this isn't enough for me, I want more. And I don't want my families to starve on the last few days of our lives, and they think, of course, the walkers are going to get in and kill them, so they figure they might as well splurge on their last few days. But they rush in there and they're just like grabbing stuff. But Spencer, Deanna's son, who I kind of like Spencer a little bit, but in this episode he acts more like a brat. At first he seemed like an innocent dork. Now he seems like just a sort of brat. Yeah. Anyway, he stops them from raiding the place by saying, reassuring them and telling them that that's not the way, the sort of the way the old Rick used to stop people from doing stuff. And so they stop. But then later, Deanna walks into the room and she sees him. He dropped a glass because he's drunk, and he stole the alcohol from the place. He stole food from there. It's just, he stole all this stuff for himself, but he explains that he was the one who stopped them from raiding the place, so it's better that he took stuff anyway than they take all of it. See, it's okay if he does it because they don't know about it, so they don't know that her authority is getting trampled, I guess. But yeah, he blames her, Deanna, for his father dying and his brother dying because she had them all so sheltered in this gated community. But, I mean, it's not really her fault as much as everyone in that place's fault. I mean, shouldn't they have all realized they have to stand up and fight for themselves? They have to practice. Most of the people in there didn't know how to shoot a gun, so you have to practice something, right? They're not very good survivalists. Anyway, moving on from there, Maggie decides to go rescue Glenn. Now, we find out about this because Aaron walks into the gun room, the armory, and she's also, I'd like to point out, Carol was not in this episode at all. I guess she was just like with Judith. Okay. And Aaron sees Maggie taking a bunch of guns, and she's got these Roman candles or flares. So he deduces that she's going to distract some of the walkers on the wall to clear a path so that she can jump down and run across. But then he says that's not a good idea because if you jump, you could twist your ankle, and then what? And she sort of agrees to that, but then he says, I'm going with you, and I know a better way. So they decide to go out. They have a little back and forth, but I'm not going to even bother talking about that. There's so much in this episode in just the 40-some minutes, I believe, that this episode went on. So I got a lot to talk about here, and I'm not going to be fast talking about it because I go on different tracks on accident sometimes. So forgive me. I'll try and be as precise as I can. Okay. And then they go to a drainage system that has tunnels underneath Alexandria that leads outside of the wall, so that they don't have to go over the wall, they go under. And while they go under there and they're walking, they encounter some walkers and have a lot of trouble. That's of course just to be a little bit of filler for the episode, but also give us a little action. And of course, it's not like while they're getting attacked by these walkers, we're like, oh, yeah, are they gonna die? Like, when Glenn falls into a group of zombies. No. With this scene, it's just like, yeah, they're having trouble with 2 walkers. Shouldn't they? Maggie kills walkers like all the time. You would figure 2 walkers she'd dispatch fast, but oh well. I guess everyone has a tough day sometimes. But they travel all the way through this tunnelway, and they get to the end of it, and she's like, this isn't far enough from the gate. And he says, what do you mean? It's plenty far enough. Come on, help me get this bar open. There's bars at the end of the tunnel, so that you just pop them off and you can escape. But she screams, no, no! And it attracts any walkers in the area, and they, only like 2, I believe, go up to the opening there, and they're like trying to get in. Now, then she has her little talk with Aaron where she tells him that last time she burned Glenn's last picture because she said she'd never be away from him, so she wouldn't need any pictures. And she should have been with him this time, but she stayed because she's pregnant. That's when we find out that she's pregnant. And yeah, that's pretty much it there. They head back, and then she wants to clean off the wall because they have this wall that they put all the dead people's names on, I believe. And Glenn's name was there and Nicholas's name. And they clean off Glenn and Nicholas's name, which they shouldn't have cleaned off Nicholas's name. That's just going to be more work for the guy who has to repaint Nicholas on there. But, I would have just figured they would have cleaned off just Glenn's name, but I guess they did figure since Glenn was with Nicholas, if Glenn was to survive, Nicholas would survive, right? No. But anyway, Rick is sort of worrying here that when the rest of the group that's out there, like Glenn, Nicholas, Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham start heading back, they won't be able to get inside because there's walkers all around the border of their little Alexandria. Yeah, and that's a problem. And also, no Glenn in this episode, no Daryl, no Carol. It was mainly just the side characters, and like Deanna is a sort of side character. Spencer, we got to see them more. We got to see Jesse more. I really like Jesse. If they kill off Jesse in the show, that will really suck because the best relationship in the show that's been so far, I think, is Rick and Jesse. Just because, I don't know, they seem to really have chemistry. Whereas other characters that are supposed to be in love, like, let's say Rosita and Abraham, there's nothing really there. I mean, they kiss and stuff, but it doesn't seem like they really care for each other. I mean, in this episode, Rosita was crying over him being gone, like at the end. But I wouldn't really figure she would cry because it didn't seem like they cared that much. And apparently next episode's going to be about about Daryl, and Abraham, and Sasha. I've seen like a preview part, and I will review the preview or trailer, whatever, and go over the different scenes that we see there and sort of deduce what the next episode will be about. Stick around for that one. That's going to be huge. Okay, let's move forward. Denise kisses Tara in this episode. They have sort of like a rat-tat-tat discussions and stuff, and then Denise finally is able to figure out how to help this guy that was sick in her hospital, and it was because of something Tara did. So she walks out and kisses Tara on the mouth. Now, that differs from the comics because in the comics, Denise was like in love with Heath, that guy with the glasses and the dreadlocks. So that strays from the comics quite a bit. I'm wondering if she kissed her like romantically, or if it was just like one of those screw it moments and it's like not really I'm in love with you, I'm just kissing you because of it, or if it's like a friendly you saved my life, you wonderful bastard type thing. But I don't know. I don't really think that she or Heath have even had any like discussions in this show so far, so I don't think they're actually going to have a relationship at any point in this show. And plus, the actress that they got to play looks like nothing like the comic person. The comic girl was like, she looked like like Andrea with glasses. This girl looks kind of more like Tara. But I don't know if she. I don't know what path she'll go down, but we'll see later. Let's move on. Ron. Ron is in this episode a lot. He's another one of those side characters I'm talking about. Ron has a discussion with Carl, and Carl is like going to go out of the wall to find Enid, who Enid left in the previous episode. That's when she left that note that said JSS and just survived somehow. Or the other way around. It doesn't matter. And Ron's telling Carl that he shouldn't go out, and they have sort of like a girly shove fight. Yeah, But that was just embarrassing. I would not have, if I was the actor, I would have said, can't I throw a punch at him? Like just, bam, instead of, But, but then Ron actually talks some sense into Carl. He says, if you go out there, your father will go out there to find you, and he'll bring people with him. Those people will die, and it will be on you. And then Carl's like, so, I mean, yeah, Carl has gotten someone killed by playing around by himself. He got Dale killed in Season 2. He went and played with a walker that was stuck in mud. Walker got free of the mud. He didn't kill the walker, left. Walker got up, killed Dale eventually, and then his fault. So, then Ron goes to Rick and tells Rick about Carl wanting to leave to find Enid, and Rick's like, where is Carl? He says, he's in the house, which for a second there I was like, are they catching up to the joke where we're like, he's never in the house? I don't know. I just chuckled over that, because Carl has never been known to stay in the house. I'm kind of wondering if he is in the house now, or if he's actually going out to find Enid. Anyway. And Ron asks Rick to show him how to shoot so that he can protect his family. That is kind of interesting to me, because I think maybe Ron wants to kill Rick or Carl. Maybe he's like learning how to shoot so that he can kill them. Maybe. Okay, but that's pretty much the only exchange there. He looks a little like he's okay with Rick, but I'm wondering if nothing in The Walking Dead is ever just some sort of coincidence or something, so it's definitely going to come into play that he's getting taught how to shoot. And then, Rick and Jesse. At the very end, we see Rick and Jesse talking, and then it gets kind of romantic, and they kiss. That was pretty cool. I like when Rick kisses Jesse, and because they're the best couple on the show, and I think it would be cool if they didn't follow the path of the comics. I'm not going to spoil you on the comics. The most I will say is she doesn't have a good ending in the comics. But I hope they use her as like the new Andrea. It seemed like they wanted Sasha to be the Andrea, but I don't really like Sasha. She's a little too nutsy. I don't remember Andrea in the comics being that nutsy. I mean, it's justified. Her brother and her boyfriend died like simultaneously. I suppose that could get to you, but nah. I like Jessie like a lot, especially when she just jabbed the crap out of that lady with the scissors. That was dope. But we got a scene sort of like that with Deanna this time, but it was kind of awkward. There's this walker that's inside of Alexandria, and she has a bottle. She breaks it and like stabs the crap out of its chest. She's like, stab, 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 stab. But then, I mean, she's not killing it, so Rick comes up and kills it. It's at night, and he saves her, I guess. But why wouldn't she try for the head? You can't kill it by stabbing it. But I guess she was just really angry and wanted to get out some steam. I'd also like to point out that people have been calling her Skeletor, and now I can't stop seeing it. When I see her face, it's like, Skeletor. That is Skeletor. She has like this weird nose thing that makes it look like the bone slit there. I don't know. Then she has a tightness of the face, but then also wrinkly in certain places. She looks like Skeletor to me. If you don't know who Skeletor is, look up He-Man. You'll see it. Let's see. The wall is cracking. At the very end, we see Deanna walk by the wall. She's like very confident. She's shoved up against the fence, and she's like, yeah, they're not getting in here. Walks by the wall, and then you see crack, 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 crack. And it's like, oh no. That means that the next episode, or the episode after that, or the episode after that, or something, the wall may cave in, the walkers could get in, and then we might get the storyline of the comics where they flooded the town. I certainly hope not, because a lot of bad things happened at that point. Read the comics. You'll find out. Of course, I am reading my pamphlet here, so I'm trying to see where I am now. Okay, where is Daryl and the rest? I'm kind of really wondering that. It seemed like they weren't that far at first, but then I realized they were leading the walkers away. When are they going to head back? Which route are they going to take? How long will that be? I'm going to have to sort of delve into this sort of stuff by myself and see where they are and what the plan was, because I don't remember it too well. But other than that, I think I've covered all bases. If I didn't, then make sure to comment about it. I think this was a really good episode. It was a little slower than usual, but compared to this, this is episode 5, compare this episode 5 with any other episode 5 of any other season of The Walking Dead, this is a pretty fast-paced one. I mean, maybe not season 4. Season 4 had really good ones, but this one was good. And it had a lot of good character development, which means that it is fairly needed if you want to get to care about any of these characters. And gee, let me think. It had little action, but not much, so I could understand if you were bored during this episode. How about you comment below, tell me about that. And I kind of want to answer your guys' questions, so if you have any questions about this episode, please comment below, and one of my videos in the future, I will mention you and answer your comment. And then, if you have any questions about the next episode, comment as well. I will answer those in a video. And that's pretty much all I've got to say, guys. I will see you in the next episode. Make sure to watch it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to do anything that you can for me. See you guys in the next video.